What's up, guys? Today we're talking crossovers. They're a thing of beauty in the NBA for the players and fans watching the game. Unfortunately, they can be a disaster for the players on the receiving ends of them. You might even say some of them were life-changing experiences, like a few of the crossovers we've got in store for you today. At number 15, it's Deron Williams. Williams wasn't able to cross over as many people since he took his talents over to the Brooklyn Nets, but back when he was in his prime, he was crossing people over left and right. In this clip, he was able to size up Tony Douglas from behind the arc. He leaned his whole body into his crossover before rapidly pulling it back. Douglas was spun all the way around, and by the time he could jump up to defend the shot, Williams had already gotten his form locked down and knocked down the triple. Number 14, Tony Parker. Parker was able to cross over Steve Nash in this particular clip, and man, was it nasty. Parker pulled the ball back out, and it seemed like he was going to go around a screen that was just set for a three-pointer. Now, as the screen approached, Nash bolted to go above the screen. Parker saw what was coming and instantly adjusted his body to turn the other direction, boosting down the baseline instead and leaving Nash in the dust. Parker easily converted the uncontested layup, while Nash just stood at the three-point line knowing he just got juked out of his shoes. Number 13, Kevin Durant. Durant may be long and slender, but that doesn't mean he lacks any kind of quickness or burst. He was dribbling up the court with Sasha Pavlovich waiting to defend him. Durant got to the three-point line, dribbled once to his left, and instantly crossed it over to the right, driving into the lane right after. Pavlovich slipped backwards after trying to get back in front of Durant, causing him to fall back on his hands. Durant didn't even score on this play because when he got to the paint, he dished out a beautiful pass to a teammate who capped it all off for 2 points. Number 12, Jason Kidd. This play was so incredible because of who he crossed over. He was able to juke out both Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper on the same play. He got a big screen to his left, and when his defender took the bait, he crossed them over and drove down the baseline. When he got there, another defender cut him off, and he somehow crossed him over too, this time going in the opposite direction as the first one. He then made a pretty pass to a teammate who dunked it all over everybody in the paint. It's hard to tell who all is in this video, but to my knowledge, Harper was the one who got baited into the screen, and Pippen tried to play help defense, but ended up getting torched himself. Number 11, Jamal Crawford. Crawford is known for his insane handles and ability to shake his opponents no matter how good they are defensively. And in this clip, he gives Ray Allen the business. From behind the arc, Allen was closely defending him. Jamal hit him with a flurry of moves before going behind the back, getting Allen to shift a little bit, then pulling it back to his left and watching Allen go tumbling to the floor. As he was trying to get up, Crawford stepped into a shot before passing it into the corner to a wide-open teammate, and that guy knocked down the trifecta. Number 10, Allen Iverson. There should be no surprise that Iverson's on our crossover list. On this particular play, AI actually stumbled to his knee in the beginning of the play, with Jacques Vaughn playing Patrick Beverley-type defense on him. Just wouldn't let him breathe. It did cost him in the end, though. Iverson collected himself, shook him loose a few times as he got to the three-point line again, but with one swift action, Vaughn went flying onto his back. It looked like his leg got stuck trying to keep up and he just fell down. And of course after that, Iverson didn't waste any time in scoring. Number 9, Steve Francis. Francis somehow got Troy Hudson out on an island during a play, and he knew that he could do practically any move that he wanted, so he proceeded to do, well, pretty much everything. He got Hudson a few times with a crossover, and Hudson clearly couldn't take it anymore. Eventually, he jumped early, and Francis walked around him and knocked down a widely uncontested floater. Number 8, Michael Jordan. Yes, it's that shot. We've all seen it before. Now, before you make any push-off comments, just know that those have been over-exaggerated for years. In this clip, with the game and championship on the line, Jordan drove into the lane and snatched it back on Brian Russell. Russell nearly fell all the way to the ground. Simply because it won him a championship and was the last ever shot of his real career makes it an insane moment. Number 7, Jason Williams. Williams was always one of the flashiest basketball players of all time. He had a tendency to just shake players off of him and dish out dimes that couldn't ever be replicated. In this clip, he crossed over none other than Gary Payton. On a fast break, Williams was in a one-on-one situation. He stopped behind the arc for a moment before bursting into the lane and leaving Payton stunned. All GP was able to do was stick his leg out as he turned around and watched Williams score 2 points. Number 6, we've got Allen Iverson again. This time, Iverson found a way to cross over the same dude twice in one play. Antonio Daniels was on the wrong end of this play. AI drove into the lane and snatched it back, leaving him falling back onto his hands. Daniels tried to lunge back towards Iverson to defend him, but he was just too shifty and got crossed over a second time while still halfway on the ground. Number 5, James Harden. Now, this could arguably be much higher on the list, but we'll keep it here for now. Harden sized up Ricky Rubio with 10 seconds left in the third quarter. He crossed him over going left. Rubio fell to his knees quickly. He was able to get back up in a hurry and contest the shot, although sometimes that's not really a great idea on these kind of plays, because what made it worse was that Harden just splashed it right in his face. Rubio must not be subscribed to our channel, otherwise he would have been able to stand his ground against any crossover. If you don't want to end up like Rubio here, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and then we'll get back to the video. Number 4, we've got back-to-back James Harden. This one came against Jamal Murray. Murray was also playing crazy aggressive defense on Harden to avoid giving him any space to operate. Unfortunately, he didn't anticipate a behind-the-back move. Harden did just that, and Murray got too aggressive and tripped over himself. He fell onto his knees and just stared at Harden for a second. He got up and sprinted over to contest the shot, but of course Harden knocked it down, and to make it all worse for Murray, he gave him an N1 opportunity by fouling him on that play. Number 3, Kyrie Irving. This wasn't a huge crossover like the others, it was instead just Kyrie moving around 3 players like it was nothing. He did a behind-the-back move against the first guy, crossing him over, but in the process he ran into another defender. He quickly turned and burst down the lane, splitting through 2 defenders and then going up and over a help defender for the layup. At first glance, it doesn't look all too impressive, but watching it a second time really shows the degree of difficulty this play took. Number 2, Steph Curry. Sadly, this is the Chris Paul crossover. Paul was chasing Curry along the baseline during a game. It looked like Steph would go back towards the rim, which got Paul leaning that direction. Instead, Curry yanked it back and had a nice little step-back mid-range jump shot go in. Paul was definitely thrown off and he fell backwards onto his hand, nearly completely falling onto the ground. And at number 1, it's James Harden for the 3rd time. This was the crossover of all crossovers, guys. It was against Wesley Johnson, and the poor guy never saw it coming. Harden drove for a second before pulling it back behind the three-point line. Johnson tumbled onto the ground, but Harden didn't shoot it just yet. Instead, he stared at him on the ground and waited for anybody to contest. Johnson slowly got up as another teammate ran over, but Harden knocked the shot down anyways. It was like the ultimate disrespect. And that just about does it on this video regarding the 15 best crossovers of all time. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to watch the top 15 most unsportsmanlike moments next.